Hey traders, it is Wednesday after the close, and I want to do a quick market review and share with you maybe some of my swing trade ideas and maybe some of the gaps that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. First off, we'll start with the market. You're probably almost never going to hear me say this, but I was kind of disappointed that the market gapped down and sold off today because I was hoping, if you look at the daily chart of the QQQ, which is the tracking ETF for the NASDAQ 100, I use the Qs and I use the SPY to track the broader market. I don't really use the Dow Jones because it's not representative of the whole market. It only has 30 companies, basically. It represents 30 companies. But I was hoping that the market would hold the 20, going back to the Qs. I was hoping it would actually hold the 20 and then we would get, in the next day or two, get a breakout to all-time highs. I'm usually a bearish person by nature. I mean, I almost always prefer a bearish environment because I like to short a lot more than to play long. But the issue is I wanted the market to hold because I would like the market to start trading off the 20. When it trades off the 20, it just makes life easier. When the market starts to go through the 20, like we have here, it just basically more or less it stays sideways. I mean, you can say we're uptrending for sure, but how much are we moving really? From 170 to 180 is all the movement we got in the last almost 2 months, from mid-June to today. We're August 15th. So we don't move very much when the market lacks the momentum and the moving average is going through price. I like the market when it trades off the 20, like so. See this? Look at the move here. What a beauty, right? When it starts to go through the 20, it's not a great environment for trading, especially when we're right at the start of the summer doldrums. So you'd want to see where you don't get a lot of gaps, right? You're in between earning seasons. You want to see the market actually trend one direction or the other, uptrending, downtrending, doesn't matter. So I was hoping the market would actually hold. It didn't. It doesn't matter. But the point is, today's move, we had kind of a line in the sand and we broke that. The only time will tell, only if we get follow through, will I feel that, okay, we're totally sideways for the foreseeable, we're going to be sideways for the foreseeable future. But unless we reverse this tomorrow, today's move, I think, not only was it bearish, it's not really that it was so bearish, but it basically, for me, tells me we're going to be sideways for the foreseeable future. If we had held the 20 and made new highs, then I would say, okay, time to, the market is going to resume the uptrend and break out to all-time highs and all out bullish, and this becomes a focal point. The break of it, again, destroyed that notion. And then on the weekly chart, I guess is still pretty okay, pretty good. We might be, just might be doing a double top here on the weekly chart of the Qs. Pretty tight uptrend, so I don't want to predict anything. It would be imprudent on my part to try and predict anything. The SPY is even more so of a potential double top, right? Possible double top, but I don't think the market is going to be crashing here. We have a rising 20 that's catching up. It's just that I think we're going to be sideways for the foreseeable future. We will need to see follow through to today's move, and the fact that I think Cisco is gapping up in the after hours to all-time highs. Maybe not all-time highs, but multi-year high for sure. Might help the market keep it from dropping tomorrow. So we'll see if we get follow through or not. But again, the move in the market today, to me, especially if we get follow through tomorrow, means we're going to be sideways for quite some time. I want to show you some of the ideas that I'm going to be looking at for potential swing plays. The longs I don't like so much, okay, but I'll share that the list with you anyway. AAP, which I had as a swing a couple days ago as an earnings play, It has a 1, 2, 3 on the daily chart. So 1, the first bar, the breakout, an inside bar, and then we can be looking at potential entry long over the base with a stop below it. So that's not bad. Looks higher. AMBC, only if it takes out the highs here. Only if it takes out the highs with a stop below. Not bad, right? I guess I have the AMBC twice. SIC is a daily buy setup. I had the KMB today on the daily watch list as a daily buy setup. This is similar, and look what it did today. This is similar, right to the 20, right? Not bad, not bad. Hourly chart is the 20 MA is curling, so it could be a long. NIHD is a beautiful daily buy setup. I like it a lot, over 560, I believe, over today's high. The one thing that I don't like about it is the deep pullback. That's a pretty deep pullback, okay? But it's not bad. I like it over about 560 with a stop at around $5. Potential target would be the prior high, which is around 729. And then P, I don't really like the chart of P, especially on multiple time frames. This is Pandora. I don't really like, especially the monthly chart is in an all-out downtrend and right at the declining 20. But what I do like about it, and this is exceptional, in that it gapped up into resistance. This whole area was resistance, and it held. Look at this. A stock that gaps and doesn't fill the gap is a sign of strength, and so it looks like it wants to break out. If we look at the hourly chart, again, looks like it wants to break out. I don't love the multiple time frames. I don't like the fact that we have more resistance here, more resistance there, but the bullishness by gapping and holding the gap certainly stands out. So those are kind of some of the bullish charts that I'm going to be looking at tomorrow, with maybe the AAP and the NIHD being my two favorite. As far as the shorts, I got more and I have better ideas, I think. CPLP looks good on the monthly chart. To me, looks good as a short on the monthly chart. I got into the TOO is another shipper, and I actually got it today. Looks good, broke down. So I got this today. CPLP is another shipper, so that's looks good as a breakdown. Again, the weekly is breaking down, monthly is breaking down, and the CPLP is very similar. So that's what I like about it. CUTR, the CUTR is very thin, so that's the problem. But under the base, stop above it as a short. Under the base, stop above it. Okay, like it, but very thin. FIS, beautiful daily sell setup. What's even more beautiful about it is the rounding top it created on the hourly chart. You see, I use the daily time frame to locate patterns, to find patterns, and the hourly time frame to locate entries, to figure out a way to enter into the stock with precision, right? And look at that rounding top it created. So I like it. Again, the fact that it rallied so much is, is a little strong, too strong maybe for me. But that's an idea short. FND certainly looks lower. It just has a big stop under the lows, stop above. So again, looks lower, but really big stop. KOPN is a daily breakdown. One can say it's extended a bit away from the 20, but the truth is this was an igniting move. So an igniting move never makes a stock extended, just like a gap never makes a stock extended, unless it's a novice gap. But again, if you have an igniting move right off the 20 and a base away from the 20, that's a sign of weakness. It means the stock is correcting through time by basing rather than through price by rallying, which is even, when the stock corrects through time by basing, that's weaker. That's weaker than correcting through price by rallying. So it does look lower. It's not a very tight base. We like tight bases. These tight bases give us certainty. So it's not a very tight base. NAVI, I am going to play tomorrow if it triggers. Basically under the base, stop above it. It's not a great looking daily chart, but let me show you the monthly. I mean, that is the monthly chart. What a beauty. It looks like the whole thing is gonna fall apart. See this? It looks good to me. I like it. I personally like it. Short, I'm gonna play it short down there. Stop off the daily. I'm not gonna put the stop on the monthly because it'd be too big of a stop. But I am looking to play the NAVI. SNAP is also a thing of beauty because of the weekly sell setup. And that is a gorgeous looking weekly sell setup. Let's take a look at the monthly. Monthly is in an all-out downtrend, so that's good. I'm not liking this color, blue, on my charts. So let me go ahead and change it to, let's say, gray, because I'm not liking this. Okay, this is a bit clearer. So again, SNAP, I like it short under the base, under 12 bucks by 12.77. If you want the exact numbers, that's what I'm looking to do tomorrow. Trip triggered today already, but nice rounding top on the daily, nice rounding top on the hourly. I'm looking for an hourly sell setup to get in it, but it actually really triggered today. Trip. I had a bunch of ideas today. I already have 6 positions short. So I had 5 going into today, and I added even 1 more today. So I didn't want to do the trip because I considered it to be a little more aggressive than the other ones, but it triggered nicely. Now I'm looking for a sell setup. VRNS is another sell setup, and this one perhaps looks better. Actually, the daily doesn't look better, but the weekly looks much better. Right off the moving average, perhaps the moving average flattens out a little bit, and we get a rollover. So on a stock that went climactic on the larger time frame, look at this move, up, 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 up. The biggest bar, acceleration, some volume, narrow range bar, so that's not bad. I like it. And perhaps my favorite would be the WWE. It's a climactic weekly sell setup on a climactic monthly also, and a transition C on the daily chart. So I am going to be playing the WWE if it triggers, for sure. Okay, those are some of the swing ideas. As far as the some gaps, I just ran the scanner while I was just before I started the video. I got this is what I found that's gapping in the after hours. We'll start with the gap downs. SPNT. Let's open up the daily chart. I don't need the hourly chart for analyzing gaps at all. This is gapping down to 20 bucks. Looks good to me, but it's very close to support. That's the problem. You know, when a stock gaps just under the 200, almost 100% of the time gets sold, regardless of the quality of the gap. Just take a look at stocks that gap just under the flat 200. If it's a flat 200, they gap just under it. Again, almost 100% of the time they get sold. So this one qualifies, except it's gapping $2 too much. And if you look to the left, I mean, we're right at the bottom of that wide range green bar. Do we have a little more room to the gap fill and then maybe a little more to $18, $19? Sure, we have more room. But it would have been about 100 times better had it gapped down to there. If it had gapped down to 22, I'd close my eyes and play it short tomorrow. Personally, that's just me, personally. I'd like close my eyes and play it. Another thing about it I just noticed is it's extremely thin. I mean, it might not even be playable. So that's another thing that you have to watch out for, is not only do you have to find good plays and good, but you need to make sure the spread is acceptable, the liquidity is there, volume is there. So that's something that one has to pay attention to for sure. The GNL is, let's see where this is gapping to. Showed up on my scanner. I don't know for sure it's yeah, it is gapping to 21. Interesting. I mean, the stock looked pretty bullish, and today and tomorrow is going to be negating that message. It's going to be failing on that bullishness. Let me show you something else from today. Just look at this. Macy's. Why do you think Macy's got sold the way it did? Why was this a really good gap? Because you have to ask yourself, what was the message the stock was broadcasting? What was the message price action was, the message, or what was the price doing the day before? And you can see we had a huge breakout, a really strong breakout on really strong volume. Buyers stayed in it. How do I know? Because the stock stayed, it closed at the highs. If they sold, you would have seen a big topping tail. So a lot of people bought, as evidenced by the volume. It was a breakout to a multi-year high, perhaps, right? For sure, a daily high. And then the next day, that all of their hopes for a higher price got what? Shattered. Completely reversed. Every single person, smart money, dumb money, big money, small money, doesn't matter. Every single person that bought it yesterday and held was underwater today. So this kind of a gap creates a lot of trapped traders, a lot of pain. And so some people start selling right at the open because they're underwater, and it starts the snowball effect. As they sell, the stock drops more. As the stock drops, more people start panicking out, and then it creates that snowball effect, right? And so today, I'm not surprised. I didn't do the Macy's because I just don't make money playing Macy's. For some reason, it's one of those stocks that I have a hard time trading personally. But I don't know why. It's just the way it is. So I wasn't trying too hard to trade it, even though it was one of the favorite gap downs this morning, for sure. So this is similar, but nowhere near as good. The GNTL broke out a few days ago, right? If this breakout bar was today, and tomorrow we ended up gapping under it, it would have been just as good as the Macy's. But it broke out a few days ago. Some people are already long gone, made the money and moved on. And tomorrow it looks like it's going to be gapping to 21. Not bad. We have a little bit of support there, and then after that, free and clear to about 1950. So there is a little bit of support there, around 2080 maybe, and then after that, it has plenty of room to fall to the 200 MA. NTAP gapping down also to 78, 79. To tell you the truth, I'm in the NTAP as an earnings play, so it's not working, but I'm not down much. I'm down 400. It's nothing. So anyways, the NTAP is gapping up to 77. To 77 at the moment. I don't know, right to support. It might bully the gap like the CRE did initially today. CRE bullied the gap and then it got rejected, but it might do something like this because it's gapping right to support and a tight uptrend on the weekly chart. So that is that. So I don't like the NTAP very much. And then some of the gap ups, LFVN, I've never heard of this stock. That's because it's super thin. Gapping up to 1015, looks higher over if it clears 1026. At the moment, it's not clearing, and again, it would probably be too thin for me to trade. Cisco gapping up to 4660, really interesting. I like it. It doesn't have the shock value, or much of it at least. If we were gapping, say, over this bar, then it would be what I call a tier 1 gap, like an A-rated gap, because you'd have the shock value and the breakout. But it's gapping from a doji bar. I like it as long as it ends up gapping right to the top and not like far above it. If it's far above it, I'd wait for a pullback. If it ends up gapping far above it. At the moment, it's trading at 4660, so right above it. Pretty great. I mean, that's the perfect location. So that's not bad. And then BGG is another thin stock, gapping up to 2010 at the moment. So that's into, I guess it has a little bit of room. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. So right about there, has a little bit of room. This is what's called as minor resistance, right? And then you have the topping tail. You have the 200. So that would be it. In my opinion, that would be kind of the target. So not a lot of room. And it's also a little thin. It's done 762,000 shares, so that's okay. Not the most liquid, but not the thinnest I've ever traded. The GSM in a severe downtrend, and tomorrow going to be gapping, it looks like to 830. Well, that's a powerful gap. If we end up gapping to 830, I think that's a powerful gap. But the bid is at 8. We just want to make sure we clear the base. And even if we do, it'll still have resistance, but at least it'll be a powerful gap. So on any kind of a pullback, I'd play it long. So I like the GSM, not bad. I like the Cisco, not bad. Short, I really like the SPTN as long, but if we can just, gap here. At the moment, it looks like we're gapping to 20. And then GNL is all right, I think also. NTAP, don't like because it's at support. And then this one, this one is too thin probably. That's what I have at the moment. I'll run this scan again in the morning, and usually I generate a much better gap list in the morning, but just wanted to show you kind of what some of the gaps that I'll be watching for tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions or want to inquire about what we do, what I do, reach out to customer service, please. T3live.com, and just contact the customer service number that you see on the homepage. Take care, everybody. Have a good night and happy trading.